Hey everybody, Dylan here. Sorry, the intro kind of popped me a little bit. Anyway, we're going to be doing a Raw review for last week's Raw. That's right. Last week's Raw coming out the week after. Who would have thought that was safe to do for the algorithm? Surely not me. That being, by the way, Raw for February 17th, 2025. Alright, let's get this show on the road. We are in Charlotte, North Carolina at the Spectrum Center. That's right, not Charter, Spectrum. They start off the show recapping the whole Sami and Kevin feud and how we got to the point we're at. But I'm not going to spoil that because Sami comes out immediately. Talks about their history and how that even though Kevin kind of banged him up, he has enough fight in him for one more fight at least, and that he wants that fight no matter what it takes. As he's yip-yapping about that, so to speak, Adam Pearce comes out and says that he can't approve that due to Sami not being medically cleared to compete. He can't make that match official. After Adam says that, he walks away from the ring. Sami tells him something, I don't know, he's just yelling at him the whole time, and said that he's not taking no for an answer and he won't leave the ring until he gets his match. Unfortunately, they don't bring back the whole sit in the ring and protest throughout the whole show gimmick because I really like that. I miss them doing that. Pearce says that he cannot sanction this match, and at that point I said, oh, an unsanctioned match. So you're going to make a unsanctioned match official even though it's not an official match? Question mark? He lists off a bunch of things that Kevin Owens could do that could end Sami Zayn's career, and he said he can't risk that. He asked Sami that if he understands what this match means. Sami walks down to the ramp and repeats what Adam said, but he says that he will do all that to Kevin and that he demands for the damn match. And Adam Pearce finally gives in and approves it to be an unsanctioned match. And just a little line that popped me, he says, and that is not official. As they're wrapping that up, commentary kind of summarizes it, and then we figure out who attacked Jade. Actually, we just go to a pre-tape that showed Liv, Morgan, and Raquel Rodriguez walking away from that whole attack. They show a replay of what happened on SmackDown where Bianca and Naomi were like, see, I knew it wasn't Naomi. I knew, it was who it was. I don't know where that was going. Anyway, speaking of going, we go backstage to where the Clubhouse, the JD members are there, or at least what's left. No JD. I don't think anybody else is there. I don't know. Carlito's there at least. He's trying to get the credit card information from Raquel so he can get some DLC for WWE 2K24, even though dead game. Come on, why are you doing that? Dom and Liv are also there. It goes from like the Carlito bit over to them. And Dom is talking to Liv how he doesn't trust Finn, doesn't like how he's treating him. Kind of like shit talks him, but like away from his face. And then Finn pops in. And that was a sick rhyme. Finn mentions that he heard his name brought up, but he will not be upset. He'll be proud of the JD because 3 members will be in the Elimination Chamber. Oh, and by the way, no new members for the group. They ended on that, and then they show a replay of ISO Speed getting separated by the spear. After the ad, we get Dom versus AJ Styles, where unfortunately for Finn, there is not another member JD going in. That's right. AJ hits a Styles Clash on Dom to win. After he wins, Braun Breaker tries to spear him, but he sensed that he was near, so he dodged that and Dom took the spear. And then he hits him in the head with a Pele kick that knocks him out of the ring. Braun throws his shirt at Styles, and Styles effortlessly just catches the shirt, doesn't even break eye contact with him, and then gives him a little wink. Braun walks away after that happens to end the segment. That's right. Champions look weak. Why not? It's 2025. Championships don't matter, I guess. Oh, I hate that I even jokingly said that. After they show a replay of last week with the Creed brothers versus the War Raiders, well, I guess 2 weeks ago, considering you get what I'm saying. After they show that, American Alpha's backstage just talking about it, doing bits. And Ivy reminds Creed brothers that they didn't win or bring back gold for Master Gable, but she will against Dakota Kai tonight. She's going to win that number 1 contendership. Conveniently, though, Dakota Kai is walking backstage as she says that. Ivy ends up stopping her and telling her that she's going to beat her. And then Dakota calls her a little whippersnapper and says that she's going to earn the rematch for the title and just continues walking on. It's kind of pointless to have that interaction, but alright. After that, they have the number one contenders match for the women's IC title, which Ivy ends up unfortunately losing with a go-to kick. I think that's what they call the GTK. Yeah. After the match, Lyra Valkyria was on commentary. She just gets in the ring and she holds up her title, and that's how we end that segment. Unfortunately, nobody for American Made brought home gold, so let's see how Master Gable will act this week. Spoiler alert, it's probably not going to be pretty. They plug something, and then after that, they replay Gunter and Jey from last week. I think that's where Gunter rips his leg and like pulls him off the announce table, beats him dead. And then after the ad, Gunter comes out through the cloud. Through the cloud? He just drops from the heavens above? Oh boy. No, he comes out through the crowd, and he's mocking how Jey comes out, kind of like mockingly yeets. He berates the crowd and Jey for being simple-minded as he's walking to the ring. Says somebody smells like body odor, which made me pop a little bit. Just classic heel heat there. Kind of just repeating what I said. As he's making it to the ring, he gets heat from the crowd with stuff like that. And then he talks about how it's their fault that him and Jey are having a battle and he's having to beat up Jey. The match at Mania won't happen in the crowd, though. It doesn't matter how much they hype him up. It'll happen in the ring. And Gunter will prove how he outclasses Jey at everything in this sport. Hence why he's doing that, by the way. He says at Mania, Jey's blood will be on their hands. As he talks, the crowd chants, "We want Jey," the whole time. Gunter then asks commentators what they think the outcome of the match is going to be. And they kind of like try to walk away from him. And then he kind of assertively like asks them, like, "Hey, do you believe that Jey has a chance to beat him?" And then he looks at Michael Cole, and Michael's kind of like, no. He doesn't say anything, but like he just like shakes his head. And then he looks at Pat McAfee and says, "Hey, do you think he does?" And then he throws the mic at Pat. And after stalling for a second, Pat McAfee says, "Anything can happen, so sure." Gunter got super offended at that. He takes off his jacket, walks towards him, and it looks like he's going to beat him down. But thankfully, Jey comes out to save him. He tries to go after Gunter, but officials hold both of them back as Pat is still yeeting in the background the whole time. As much as I love Pat McAfee's extra personality to it, I really think this like watered down Gunter and kind of made him look weak. A guy like me wants him to see like beat up Pat for saying that, throw him into the steps, choke him out, keep him off the show for like a week. That's what they should have done while he was at Puerto Rico or I think wherever he was for vacation. They should have just had him beat him up for that. That's how you get some good heat on Gunter. But yeah, they have a little brawl for a second, and it ends with Gunter retreating just to make him look that much weaker. Security holds them apart, and then Jey yeets to end the segment. We go backstage where Kathy Kelly is interviewing Liv and Raquel. She tries to ask them about the attack, and Liv kind of dodges answering it, but sasses her at the same time. She ends up talking about how Raquel is going to win the tournament tonight, and she's going to qualify for the Elimination Chamber later on. After ad break, we get a Pent versus Pete Dunne match. Throughout the match, Kaiser tries to interfere, but he's just used as somebody to bounce off of. I think Pete Dunne gets thrown into him, and then Penta ends up winning the match in classic Penta way. After the match, everybody kind of beats up everybody until Dunn and Kaiser are beating each other up outside. And then Penta ends up diving onto both of them to take them out. We then go backstage after that where Kathy Kelly asks Jey Uso how he feels. And Jey says that he feels underestimated. He's then asked how he feels confidence-wise and gives a hyped-up promo about how people keep on downing him. But at Mania, he will defeat Gunter. Yeet. After that, Roxxanne Perez has a promo hype video package about her greatness and who her character is. Then they show JD and Roxanne go into the ring. By the way, JD in this case is Raquel Rodriguez featuring Liv Morgan as her manager against Roxanne. Before that match happens, the Viking Raiders have like a little promo about when they challenge American Alpha again, it'll be war next time. Just like they promised it was war this time. I don't know. I'm not souring on the Viking Raiders. I love them. I think they're cool men. I just I don't like creative right now. I don't know how else to say it. I'm kind of souring on it, but it's okay. It's Mania season. They're gonna find a way. They're going to find a way. After that, we have the match. We're about halfway through the match. Liv ends up getting jumped outside by Bianca and Naomi, and they're in little cheerleader outfits that look fucking sick. The distraction was enough for Roxxanne to hit her finisher, which is the Pop Rocks. That's right, I do not watch NXT. I wish I did. For the win. The tag team champions try to hit Liv in the ring with a KOD, but they get too close to the ropes and Raquel pulls her off as the bad guys run away to end that segment. After that, Kathy Kelly interviews Seth Rollins about his opponent. Seth says that he can't go to Mania unless he goes through the chamber. Sorry, I was trying to read who his opponent was. His opponent, by the way, being Finn Balor. And he says that he can't go to Mania unless he goes through the chamber. But he can't go through the chamber unless he beats Finn. Finn needs to win, but Seth needs it more, according to Seth. He says that he's ran out of words, which means it's fight time now. He walks away, and as Kathy Kelly tries to throw it back to commentary, Cross comes into the frame and says, more like he calls out, really, Sami Zayn and all of his friends for being delusional. But Sami, it's not too late. He could still help him not be delusional. Kind of like it, but it wouldn't work right now to turn him heel and have a face Kevin Owens. We then see Finn getting ready for his match with a skull in the background that says OC on the side. Kind of made me pop a little bit. And after that, we get Io Sky hype package about her match with Rhea coming up, I think now in 2 weeks. Actually in real time coming up next week, ? Yeah, I think that's right. And how much she needs to win that match. After this, the New Day are in the ring. They just get booed out. They show what happened to Rey Mysterio after Raw went off the air last week. And then the first words, I think Xavier says, "Get well soon, Rey." They try to speak, but the crowd boos them. Don't want to hear a word they say, really. Kofi says that he should be the locker room leader, not Rey, and that they attacked him due to the disrespect of getting kicked out of the locker room a couple weeks ago. They keep on talking about how great they are and how Rey sucks booty hole until the LWO come out and Dragon Lee cuts a promo on them saying it's unforgivable for what they did and that the New Day sucks. They then run down to the ring and we get a big old brawl until the New Day are kicked out of the ring and they get dived on by the LWO. Commentary sums up this show while also plugging for next week's Raw. Then Bianca and Naomi have an interview about how they're ready to beat each other up if they have to get a title match. They understand this. And Liv and Raquel are going to get what they deserve next week. I think this week being next week, I think there's a women's tag team title match if I'm not mistaken. So I'm kind of hyped for that. We then get Seth Rollins versus Finn for the final participant spot in the chamber. They have a 22-minute match that ends with a sequence of reverses, and then Rollins reverses a crossface from Finn into a curb stomp to get the W. They show the graphic for the chamber with everybody on it, recap the match, and then we fade to black. And that, my friends, is how we end this review. Well, not fade to black. I mean, we're not going to... That requires me to actually edit these podcasts. By the way, just a little bone to pick, right? Love you guys to death if you support me, or if you don't even support me. If you just take time to watch this video, thank you. But this is a very old bone and kind of a deep cut, right? More of like a deep cut to my pride than a deep cut. But anyway, somebody said a while ago, like... oh, I'm going to click off this video because he doesn't show his face or, like, doesn't have any content rather than the little, you see the stupid graphic. I'm paraphrasing. I can take constructive criticism as well as the next guy, but I would like to specify right here, right now, even though I should have done it then, my apologies, that this, until I get more time to edit and, to be honest, just more... financial backing, if I ever get financial backing from this is just going to be a little podcast format, buddies. So you're just going to hear me talk, just run my jaws like I'm doing right now. Why did I feel like shooting on that random comment on YouTube that was probably over 6 months old by now? I don't know. I'm rambling at this point, so I'll say bye-bye. I'll see you all for this week's Raw review and or future WWE and or AEW shows. Bye!